And actually, I just to start, first of all, good morning, everybody. And I'm Kathy, if we haven't met before. And this is a restorative yoga class, quite different from some of the other types of yoga. There is some stretching. I encourage people to bring whatever items of comfort that they have to this, because we can use everything to support our bodies. Um, and I'll show you what I've got in my space. But I also want to say this is, for me personally, this is the most difficult, most challenging type of yoga practice. Um, I'm very, physically and movement oriented. So to slow down, and it just organically means that we're going to feel more, on a in terms of our mind or mental activity or emotional tone. And I mean, who wants to feel that when there's a lot of fear and stress? So just be aware of that and encourage yourself when you are aware of those sensations, whatever they are in the body, just to have a friendliness, a tenderness, a curiosity towards them, because they're there anyway. Um, and it's when feeling them's not the problem. It's the sort of chronic stuckness of it, which will um, move its way through if we can just allow that to be okay. And then make some space for all of the other types of intelligences that our bodies have that we might not notice so much: the patience, the wisdom, the compassion, gratitude, joy. And the mind can hold all of that as well. So just having said that, I am going to start sitting, and I'm going to use a chair. But once we get going, I've taken a big pillow right off my couch, so it's very firm, and it's almost like the bolsters that we have at the club. Um, and so if you have something like that, or if you have just a couple of firm pillows, and I also ask people to have a sock or some sort of a strap or scarf that you might use also. And I've also got a blanket that is kind of flat. Towards the end of the class, we're going to do a posture that we can use a few props for, or the blanket can be just to keep you warm. And so take a moment to gather whatever it is that you need there. This class does not have any standing postures, and there's not a lot of going from down to up or anything like that. So as far as the sitting goes, also, don't feel that you have to come into a cross-legged seat on the floor. If you prefer to be on the floor, that's fine. You can definitely feel some ease in your low back by sitting up on a good firm pillow or that bolster. But for me, just sitting in a chair, I've got my feet also elevated on something so that they're not dangling in space. So as long as your feet are on the ground, or you're sitting in that posture that feels like some ease, so we can begin, so we can arrive and land in this seated posture. Your eyes can be completely closed, or you might just be gazing down the tip of your nose, either one. Just taking in the posture of sitting and knowing that we're sitting. Feeling the body parts that are connecting with ground underneath the feet. Just giving some attention to the body this morning. That simple body scan to feel some area of the pelvis, the bones beneath the spine that are supporting the entire spine as it rises out of that sense of groundedness. The bones of the upper body, the ribs, shoulders, the upper arms. Noticing where the hands are resting right now. Any sensations in the hands. Using this body scan as a way to meet with oneself, to know that already this is enough, you are enough, just to be in this upright posture, taking it all in. And start to shine the light of curiosity outside of that tunnel inward vision to what else might be happening in your space. So noticing the field of hearing that's present, just picking up whatever is the background hum, traffic in your neighborhood or in and around your closed door, wherever you are in your home, other beings there, furry or otherwise. Noticing also that there's a visual field, whether your eyes are open or closed, taking in the sense of color and light. As you notice these things, how they come and go and disappear, and hold the attention for just brief moments. And you might include the breath in that. Notice sensations of breathing in the body. There's no breath exercise or need to deepen anything, just to have an eye on a natural breath. How the lungs are expanding and contracting as you just continue to sit and know that you're sitting. Inviting some gratitude for all those things in your body that are working pretty well right now. The autonomic nervous system, the digestive processes, the breathing apparatus, inviting also the personal support worker, that mystery that is experiencing all of these sensations to bubble up to the forefront and have your back as you move through this practice this morning in community with each other, just knowing that there is that collective wish for well-being and goodwill between and amongst us. Let's take a few more breaths here. If you feel inclined to take some deeper breaths, and that could include opening the mouth on the exhale, a little bit like you're fogging up a mirror. And notice the very top of the in-breath when there's a feeling of being full. You might pause there and then exhale all the breath, the carbon dioxide, the leftovers to the very bottom, and pause again there. Like you're climbing that mountain on the inhale, up the back, over the top of the head, and then exhaling down across the tip of the nose, chest, belly, pelvic floor, looping up the back again, low back, mid back, over the top of the skull, down the forehead on the exhale, front body softening, and take a few more full breath cycles, just going at a pace that suits you this morning. Whenever you're ready, you can blink open your eyes if they're closed. Move around a little bit, and rub your palms together, and bring some energy and heat into the palms. And then you can either just cup your palms in front of your eyes, or you can place them right over your eyes just to feel that heat transfer or change in the color. And then moving the palms out towards the temples and make a few circles in there. And bring the pointer and middle finger down to the space between the eyebrows and give a little press there. And then down across the bridge of the nose, going out towards the temples, clearing out maybe some of the lines of being tired or focusing on the screen. You can do that across the forehead too. I like to use my thumbs to lift up a little and then spread out, almost like you're just clearing some of the mental looping, looking ahead into the future, some of that anxiety or kind of stuck in past, something that we've been working on earlier. And then bring the fingers down along the cheekbones, the jawline, into the top and bottom jaw. If you wear a mouth guard at night, there may be some overdeveloped muscles in here. Good. And then let the hands come back down to the lap and do a big open of the jaw and just stretch it around side to side, making some faces, squish the eyes. I'm just going to go through all the body parts today. Good. And take the right ear over to the right shoulder. Let the left hand reach down and press the palm away. Or you can, if you're sitting in a chair, you can use the chair. So using any furniture that you've got, or you can grab onto a table leg, whatever's in your space, look out over your right shoulder. Drop the chin down towards the chest, a little on that right side, and just move the head around, lifting and lowering. Might be some tightness or some clicking in here. All of the things that are associated with keeping warm or being on lots of desk duty. Drop the chin down towards the chest, release the left hand and take the left ear over to the left shoulder, stretch the right palm away. You just reach it out, press through the palm or hold the side of a chair or piece of furniture. Drop the left ear to left shoulder. Allow the breath to fill in through the whole right side of the neck, all those little muscles. You can even give a little massage in there. See what's there. And then nod the chin down slightly towards the left. Little circles with the tip of the nose. Lifting and lowering. And then drop the chin towards the chest. You can press both palms away or hold both sides of the chair and do a few circles around. It may just be the front half of your neck, or you can do a fuller circle. Come back to center. Let's take a cat. So let's pull on the thighs a little bit in whatever position that you're sitting in. And just round out the back. And then as you inhale, squeeze the shoulders, loop the shoulders back a little bit, draw the elbows back for a cow shape. And then exhale, scoop the belly. Anything that you can grab onto there. And then inhale, moving in the opposite direction, extension followed by flexion on the exhale. A little bit of breath coordination to ground some of that mental activity, just following the exhale to the bottom and pause. And then inhale, squeeze the shoulders. Exhaling one more time. Inhale there. And then exhale, come back to neutral. Let's raise both arms up. And just take a hold of opposite elbows behind the head. You can tuck your chin a little bit here. Press down through the feet if you're sitting on a chair, or just through the sits bones. And then lift the head back up so chin is a little more level with the floor. Drawing the elbows away from each other, and notice if the low back is arching. Try to knit the ribs down. Good. One more breath there. Let's take it into a cactus shape on the exhale. And then stretch the palms away from each other and up towards the ceiling on that wide V, and then exhale. Back to cactus. Reach out, inhale. Exhale there. One more time, reach. Open the arms wide now, palms face up. And exhale, palms face down, hygiene. Inhale, open up. Exhale, palms face down. Let's take a twist over to the right. And let's keep the arms reaching away. They don't have to be shoulder height. They could be lower, but try not to just grab onto anything just yet. So use a little bit of the core. And then you can lower the arms. So maybe you find your right thigh with your left hand and something behind you with your right, behind your right hip, or you can be holding the chair. So I like to use the any of the furniture that's there can help you go a little bit deeper, looking to the side or looking out over the right shoulder. And we'll take 3 breaths there. It's 1, 2, and 3. As you come back through center, keep your left arm moving forward and across, and bring it and assist with your right arm to drop the outer left shoulder. And then reach for your shoulders or your ribs at the sides. Give yourself a hug. If you have the space to take eagle shape arms, that's another option here. Find a little bit of extension. So squeeze the shoulder blades together in whichever pose you're in. It's not a big movement. If you've got eagle arms, the hands can move away from the face a little bit. The elbows lift a little higher. Take another breath there. And then exhale. Get that nice curve in the upper back. Just explore some moving around here, circling the elbows. Little circles with your rib cage so you can incorporate some side to side movement, some of the flexion and the extension. Just getting in underneath the ribs. This is really good for digestion too, just to make some space. And then release the arms to come up and reach up. And just reach, reach, reach. Also good. Really simple posture for making room for digestion. Doesn't seem like much. The arms might get a little bit tired, but yeah, so we're just lifting the ribs and making some space for all of those digestive processes to have some more ease. Let's take another breath there. Or maybe your arms are just wide. And take the hands behind the back of the skull now. Spread the elbows. Squeezing the elbows a little bit behind if you can. There's always some core containment so the low back stays nice and spacious. And then squeeze the elbows towards the ears and draw the chin towards the chest again. Let's lift up with the elbows, reach them up a little bit. And then come back to neutral. Take your arms behind. So I've got a chair that's kind of in my way, but I'm going to use it. I'll wiggle forward and reach my chest away, almost like I was, I don't know, what would this be? Sort of posing or getting ready to go off a diving board. If you prefer, you can clasp your hands behind your back or just reach the palms back. So we get some of that space for the lungs. And take another breath there. And then exhale, just let that go. Let's shrug the shoulders to the ears, breathe in. And slowly drop them down. And take the time to feel the difference. So squeeze the shoulders. Let's take an extra breath here. So this is maybe a pose that we're not aware of, but used to, that feeling of protecting and contracting, staying warm. Exhale, slowly lower the shoulders back and down. One more time, inhale. There's an emotional tone to this posture. Maybe some of that fear and anxiety. And that's okay, just then letting it go, putting it down, just now and then. And let's take the arms up again. Give us the space for those organs. And then exhale, flip the palms up. Take another breath there. Stretch the fingers away. Let's press the wall away on either side. And then bring the fingertips down towards the floor. So you've got a fist and stretch out the backs of the wrists. And then let's circle the wrists around, opening and closing the hands. And just do that a few more times. Bring the hands forward, press the palms forward, spread between the fingers, drop the shoulders, and then squeeze the fingers together. So open and close a few times. And then flip the palms up. Let your arms be just heavy at your sides. Look at your hands there. Turn the palms to face each other and scissor in that way as well. Do that a few times. Squeeze and open, squeeze and open. And then flip the palms so they're facing down. You can just look down. Imagine that you had a desk in front of you that you're cleaning, just without moving the elbows, but just supinating and pronating the hands. So moving out, pronate, moving in, supinate. Just getting a little bit of wrist therapy. And then do a few of those finger, thumb, figure eight, all of each finger. Take a little bit of time. You're just kind of waving. You can look at your hands. You don't need to look at me. Just look at your own hands, these appendages that are so busy doing whatever. And then flick raindrops. We're going to come back to those open arms with the palms up, breathing in. And we're going to twist it over towards the left. So we'll do the other side. Adjust so that the sitting posture works for this. If you're on some height, and do this without grabbing onto anything just yet. The arms could be lower. Using the core for one more inhale. And then exhale. You can lower the arms. Use your furniture. You can use your left hand on your right thigh and reach the left arm to the floor behind, or hold on to something there, looking over to the side or over the left shoulder. One more breath. Just like you're wringing out a cloth, and come back through center. Breathe in. Shoulders to the ears again, and this time just do those circles, small or big, in both directions. Excellent. So let's come off if we're sitting, and if you're on the ground and you're probably feeling some tightness in the hips, just lean back and shake your legs out. Lean back and shake, shake, shake. Let's open the knees really wide. And drop the knees over to the right. All the way over to the right. Press down a little through your left shin. You could be sitting up on a little bit of height here. Nothing too big. And then bring the left knee up and bring both knees over towards the left. Press down through the right shin to lengthen out through that iliopsoas, all along that right hip. Hard area to get that stretch into the quads and this whole connector muscle group. And let's come back through center. So trying to just do a bit of antidote for the sitting. One more time, each side. Let's come all the way over to the right. Give a little bit of weight into your right hand and do a big swing of your left arm to go for something interesting at the back of your space. And then wave it back forward and open it up, and then spin it around and looking towards the right. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale. And then exhale. You can keep doing that. If you feel like coming up, then press into both shins, press into the right hand, and lift the hips. Slowly lower if you're up. Come back to knees to center, and then take the knees over towards the left. So you might need to adjust. You might need to bring your right knee up a little closer to the left heel. So take the time to do that. Boost yourself up if you need. There's no rush. Left hand around, and then waving the right arm, looking over the left shoulder, and then just open up again, broad across the front body. Exhaling to twist. Inhale, so we're just giving some of that attention to the digestive organs as well as we wring it out. Exhale. And so you can just do a few of these gentle movements, or when you come back this time, you can press into your shins and lift both hips and come into a bit of a side stretch, or even a little upper back bend if you feel okay to look towards the ceiling and open the chest. And then slowly lower. Bring the legs forward and just really drum them out. So I got to take my socks off here for a moment and cross my right ankle above my left knee. And then I'm just going to take my left hand and hold the right foot. And again, just probably just watching your foot and your ankle as you make a few circles, kind of get into some foot care here. You could try putting your fingers right in between your toes. I should be coming closer. Anyway, they may not fit. Just have some fun with that. It's kind of a nice way to get a little more into that toe mobility, the ball of the foot. Ah, these poor feet. Just the boots or extra walking, whatever it is. Good. Let's do the other side. So cross the left ankle just loosely. If you have a pillow to support underneath that thigh, and just try playing a little bit with the ankle. So you may know you have maybe one chronic side that gives you more difficulty, one foot or ankle. I always sprain this ankle. And then bring the fingers, can try putting a couple of them between the toes. Just making some space there. And then, try a few of the little circles. See what the level of cooperation is. Just have some humor around, whatever you find. Good, and then let's come out of that. Bring the soles of the feet together now. And so this might be where having a pillow, a bolster underneath your knees, or a couple of pillows, something so you're not going into your deepest butterfly or Baddha Konasana stretch. Loop the shoulders around behind the back. Use some of that opening that we did already, and maybe you're staying sitting up. Another option would be to take the hands forward. If you find the legs and loop the shoulders back and find a bit of that length, and then just let the head go. You can let the spine be soft, so it's got a bit more of a child's pose action without having to be on your knees. You could massage your feet down there. You could press your thumbs if your hands get to your feet or your calves. Just maybe give a little more attention to this area of the body that is mostly closeted in some laces or a boot or a slipper. I'm going to stay here for a little bit, so you can always add in props, something to support your elbows or your forehead. I've got another pillow. And so you kind of have to be your own engineer. And over, getting used to being in this kind of a practice, you start to get used to bringing some things to this time. It's okay, whatever you have or don't have, we're just here together. Opening up the awareness again to take in what's here, what's present. And if you do find the thoughts, the thinking, leading you down that garden path, then that's awesome. That's it. That's all there is to this practice, is to, as soon as you notice whatever you might call a distraction or an annoyance or something that you wish wasn't here, that's it. All of a sudden you're here again. You can have an anchor. That could be the breath. Let the breath be a resting place for the mind, just like a hammock. It swings. The breeze blows in and blows out. If you, in some poses that we hold for a longer time, if you feel pain, an urgency to move, to give some relief to that, then please do that. If what you're feeling is boredom or restlessness, again, just notice. Extend some friendliness towards whatever's here. Let's take 3 more breaths in this shape. 1, 2, and 3. Ground through the seat. Draw the belly in. Start to unwind your spine. Move the props off to the side. And just lean back and let your feet flop loosely. So you should feel some jiggling of those thigh muscles, calf muscles. Giving yourself a wave there. Okay, so let's take it down onto the left side body. And so I'm going to use a pillow. And so you can decide on the height of the pillow. I'm going to place it in a way that it's going to take my left side ribs. And I'll have my knees also facing that side. And they're pretty close together. You might want to have another pillow for the head or a blanket. You may not need that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening up the lungs on the right side of the body and those digestive organs by resting down over something that's going to lift up the underside of the rib cage. So lots of ways this can be done. If you have a second pillow for the head, then you can tuck your left shoulder under and bring your head to rest on that pillow. If you don't, then you can use that, you can use the top arm to kind of make a pillow support for the head, or you can stretch that arm out longer. So we're trying not to roll forward or back. And so you can kind of be moving in stages with this, see how it feels, see if you might like to rest your right hand above your head as well to open up under the arm. And then the top leg, the right leg, could also stretch out. You know, I'm just encountering this pillow that I have at the bottom of the mat to elevate my foot a little bit. I'm not planning that. You know, just experimenting. This is a laboratory to find this posture of ease. It comes with some challenge for sure. But it's not an active effort to be in the posture. Knees can just stay bent as well. That's really nice. And close the eyes. On this side, we've got the descending colon. We've got all those intercostal muscles. We've got the lungs. On the underside of the body, getting a little bit of a squish so the top right lung can fill and empty. A little more freedom. We'll stay on this side for a couple of minutes. So, you know, just get ready for that ride of active mind. Just rested in the hammock of whatever that might be, some grounding, some anchor for you. the breath or awareness of sound. The thoughts can be similar to a current or a river. It's always flowing, always changing. We're just a little bit back from it on the riverbank, so not kind of getting in and paddling hard or getting caught up in any of the storylines. Let's take 3 more full breath cycles. Pausing at the top, emptying the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale to slide the right hand just in front of your face or your chest and press into that. Start to make your way up and around to set yourself up on the second side. So pillow or bolster. And experiment with different heights, things that you have in your home studio. If you like, your head can be just right on the ground. If you don't have all of that, then you can support your head with your hand or lay right down on your arm, cradle your head. Let's try to work it out so you're lying on your side and your knees can be bent, just moving out from the hips. Should feel quite relaxing. The top arm can stay at your side or reach above your head. There's a wall that's kind of in my space here that I can kind of use to press away. Maybe for you, you have that table leg or a couch, something. You can experiment with stretching out the top leg and just lengthening it down the mat. Play a little bit with just finding where you can be feeling this is therapeutic for a couple of minutes on this side. The posture changes. Things are always changing internally. Just having a little bit of trust in that inner wisdom of the body that does require no instruction or direction, or at least developing a relationship with that mystery. Just coming back to the anchor of the body itself in this shape, or the breath. the hum of other things in your environment. Sometimes it's helpful just to note thinking when that comes across your awareness. And just make the subtle mental note and start over. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side, filling to the very top. Pause and then empty, empty, empty. Inhale. Empty to the bottom and rest in that void. Once more. And exhale. Slide the top hand down. Press it in front. Bring yourself up. And then just swing the legs around. We'll come onto our back, and you might have the long sock or the strap, scarf, something with you there, so we can stretch out the hamstrings a bit. I've got a flat blanket underneath my seat, but you could also have a pillow underneath your head. Before we do the hamstring, let's bring the feet so they're hips distance apart. And just let the low back heavy to the ground. So a pelvic tilt without lifting the hips. And then rock the hips forward as you breathe in. And then exhale, pelvic tilt. It's rocking back and forth, massaging through the low back. And then exhale, lift the hips up and breathe in. It's maybe bringing yourself to the bottom tip of the shoulder blades and then roll it back down. Just let it ripple out. Exhale, press the low back. Inhale, lift the hips. Peel it all the way back down on the exhale. And then on the inhale, roll it back up. Just in your own timing, what feels good to move through this back release, lengthening those hip flexor psoas muscles again. One more time, breathe in. And exhale and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Maybe do a few more of the ankle stretches. And then you can either hold behind your hamstring with your hands, or you can use that strap sock around your hamstring so that you can press your heel up towards the ceiling, flex there, and then hug that knee back in. Let's do that a couple times to lengthen. Reach up and then draw it back in. Let's do 2 more. Pressing the gas and then squeezing. Inhale, lengthens. And exhale, squeeze. Let's just reach that leg up and point the toes. Breathe in and exhale, flex the heel up. And then hug that knee back in and stretch the left leg out long. You can stretch the left arm as well to the side or up above your head. Just move the right knee out a little towards the right armpit. Just hang out here for a sec. Sort of a version of half happy baby. If you prefer to have your left leg bent, that's fine. You could let it fall open to the side. We're really letting the the right knee fall out to the side. And your right heel can stay heavy towards your seat, or it can float up towards the ceiling. You can cradle your right thigh with your right arm or both arms, or bring the band in underneath your thigh or around the bottom of your foot and holding on to that. So most of us are pretty familiar with this pose. Just to get into a little bit of that hip tension. One more breath on this side. And then just release that leg. Give it a shake towards the ceiling. And then do a few circles with the toes on the ceiling. Whatever position of your left leg makes your back feel okay. And those circles, the leg doesn't have to be straight. They can be teeny, or you can go all the way out into all the corners of your space. Take up a lot of room here. We're going to figure 4 now, the right ankle above the left knee, kind of like we did when we were sitting on the floor. So let your left foot come to the floor with that knee bent and press your thighs away. And take 3 breaths there, wrapping the outer right hip open, or you can draw your left thigh in towards your chest and cradle the hamstring with your hands or with your scarf. And start that exhaling for 3. Might rock a little side to side for 2. And 1. Lower the left foot if it's lifted. Reach the right leg up. Give it a shake. Really loose shaking. And then slowly lower that leg. Stretch both legs out. Feel the whole front body. Both arms. And then hug the left knee in. Squeeze it over on that side. I like to bend my right leg to start with. Cradle the hamstring of the left leg with hands or scarf and reach that leg up and then hug it in. Press the gas a few times. Inhale and exhale. You can play with the foot when the leg is extended to circle it or point and flex. One more look at that beautiful foot. And then hug the thigh in and over towards the left armpit. Your right leg can straighten out, or it can just be with the knee bent and kind of falling away from center. Your right arm as well could reach to the back wall. Any version of half happy baby. So your left heel can just stay heavy. You can have a cradle behind your left hamstring, or you can reach the heel up and grab the ankle or use the strap around the bottom of the foot. And we'll take 3 breaths there. Just keeping the tailbone kind of long, not letting the hips lift up towards the ceiling, although there's a little air blowing underneath there. And then exhale, release. Take the leg up towards the ceiling and start to make those circles. Just point the toes and stir around. Big or small, bent or straighter. Clear some of the congestion out. And then stretch it all out. Full body, big stretch again. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Exhale. So option here, you can, if you're comfy on your back and you want to move right into Shavasana without any props, go for it. Otherwise, I'm taking my blanket and I'm going to have a flat but a bit of a roll. And it's going to go behind my upper back So usually we put a block here. And then I'll want something also to support the head, so a pillow or two. I've got that bigger bolster to have underneath my thighs. If you have a better idea, you have a favorite posture that you like to finish with, making these suggestions, all optional. So I'm looking to find a little something, a little bit of lift between my shoulder blades or support. So it's not in the lower back. If you have a bigger pillow, it may be a little bit. And then enough height for the head. So there's not a big space behind the neck. That scarf I have or sock in a little ball can kind of make a bit of a neck pillow to fill in that gap. So you have to fiddle with it. You're worth it. This is where it'd be nice if you had a yoga teacher to come around and place the blanket over top of you or give your shoulders a press. I wish I was there. Wherever you land, it's another starting over. It's another commitment to be here, experience the posture and all that comes with it. Allow for the rest and digest, even if the mind is kind of pulling you into what's next. Just one breath, just this breath. And then just this breath. For those of you that are comfortable and able to stay and rest longer, great. Feel no pressure to rejoin back in with the class. We're getting towards the other side of this bridge for the official timing of the class. So if you're needing to move on as well, just bring some movement back to the fingers and toes. Stretching out the jaw, sticking out the tongue. Making your way over to one side. Pausing in that life-saving posture, really taking it in, that job well done. And then pressing back up to take a seat. Reorienting to the room. The eyes can be open, taking in your surroundings. Resting the palms in the lap or bringing them towards each other at the center of the chest and nodding the forehead. Just that simple gesture of gratitude towards yourself, towards each other, and perhaps an intention to invite the benefits of your practice to extend themselves outwards. Any peace, any release, or just a bit more ease that you have in your being will translate to the rest of your activities and others in your afternoon. Thanks so much, everyone. Namaste. I'll stop the recording, and anybody that would like to say hi to each other or give any feedback, you're welcome to speak up.